Now the first poem in your class 9 syllabus is this, The Road Not Taken. And here the road shows our life, it symbolizes our life. And you can see the name of the poet is Robert Frost. Now it is very necessary to memorize the name of poet also from class 9 because this will help in exam also. And Robert Frost is a very famous poet. He just share his experiences about life in his poetries. When you will go in class 10th, you will read two poetries of Robert Frost, I think. Now this is the title of the poetry is The Road Not Taken. Now this poem, let me give you a brief introduction about this, as it is written here also, that this well known poem is about making choices and the choices that shape us in our life. Always in our life we face many situations in which we have to make one choice, and whatever choice we choose, it decides our future. In the poem The Road Not Taken, the road symbolizes our life. The poet says that the path that we don't choose in our life is the road not taken. Like we have various paths to choose in our life, and the path which we leave is that the road not taken. He describes his feeling about that choice that he had left in the past. The past we have chosen decides our future, our destination. And also the important message that the poet wants to give is that the choice that we make has an impact on our future, and if we make a wrong choice we regret it but cannot go back on it. This is just the introduction. I hope you have understood. Now come on the first paragraph, or you can say first stanza. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood. Diverge means separated. Diverge means separated. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now here one word is here, that is undergrowth. Undergrowth means dense growth of plants and bushes, means the forest, you can see. Now what is the meaning of this paragraph? Once the poet was walking down a road and there was a diversion, like it is given here, diverged. So diversion was there, means two roads were going there from that side. There were two different paths and he had to choose one out of them. The poet says that as he was one person, he could travel on one road only. It was not possible to travel on both the roads. He had to choose one out of these two roads. And here yellow wood is also written. Yellow wood. Yellow wood means a forest with leaves which are yellow wood means a forest with leaves, and the leaves become yellow in color. You can say that it was a season of autumn. Now it represents a world which is full of people, where people have been living for many years. That path, that the first path shows a world which is full of people, where people have been living for many years. They represent people who are older than the poet. The poet kept standing there and looked at the path very carefully, as far as he could see it. Before taking the path, he wanted to know how it was. Was it suitable for him or not? He was able to see the path till from where it curved, after which it was covered with tree and was hidden. Means he was able to see only to the some extent, as it is not possible to see the infinity. So he was just seeing where the path has ended. It now you can say that it happens in our life also. When we have choices, we have alternatives, but we have to choose only one out of them, and we take time to think about the advantages and disadvantages, whether it is suitable for us or not, and only then we take a decision on path we should choose. And then that time also it is not possible to see the future, that what will happen after taking that path, but we have to decide. This was the first paragraph. Now second stanza. Then took the other, this is the second stanza. Then took the other just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Wanted wear means not used, and grassy means also same. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. Now, what now poet is saying, that the poet kept on looking at one path for a long time to check if it is the right path for him or not, and then he decided to start walking on another path. He was looking on the first path, but which path he chose? The second path, because he felt that the both paths were equally good, and he has seen that second path was totally grassy and it was seems like it was unused. He felt that this path was better for him because it was unused. Not many people had walked on this path earlier. That is why this path was grassy and wanted wear. Grassy and wanted wear means you can say not used. It will come in exam also, that what is the meaning of these words. After he walked on the path for some distance, he realized that both the paths had been the same way. Both the paths were similar. Even in our life also, we take any path or option, but all of them have the same benefits, disadvantages, problem, challenges, and we must face them. We think that we are choosing a better option, but it is not that way. We always face difficulties also in life in future. Same is poet also facing when he took the other path. Now, third stanza. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Trodden means walked over. Now, the poet says that both the paths were similar that morning. Both had leaves on them, and no one had stepped on them as they were still green in color. He decided that day he would take one path and keep the other path for another day, although he knew that one way leads on to another way. He knew that he could not go back on the choice that he has made. Same also we face in life, that whenever we choose any option, then it is not possible to go back most of the time. Same poet was also knowing, even in our life, once we choose an option, we must keep on moving ahead with that option, and we never get a chance to come back and take the other option that we had left earlier. Now, last stanza. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Sigh means deep breath. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Now, what poet is saying in last, he says that in the future he will take a deep breath and say that once upon a time he had reached such point in life that there were two options for him, and he traveled on the that road which had been traveled upon by lesser number of people. Means he is saying that he has chosen a path which is used by less number of people in comparison to the other path, because that decision of his that decision of his decided his future. Similarly, in future also, when you grow up, then you will say that once upon a time when you were young, you had two options. Like after class 10th, you will face two options or three options of subjects, and you have to choose only one, and that will decide your future. Similarly, in childhood also, when you were young, you had two options. The choice that you made what you became of it. You choose to study, and you are in the process. This is a very strong message for all the students, that you should be wise and careful while making choices out of the options that you have in your life, because your future depends on the choices that you make today. This was the poetry, I can say. And always keep in mind this name, Robert Frost, Road Not Taken. Thank you everyone.